Hey, good morning, everybody. So I'm making this video to help my dual enrollment students who are planning on going into nursing school. So you guys are in a unique situation. The fact that you are graduating high school with your AA degree, which congrats, that's amazing. However, the problem is this. Yes, you've heard me say other videos about 2+2, how you can transfer to universities. However, this is one of those majors where that 2+2 does not really help us out. The reason being is nursing is super, super competitive. The reality is it's a good paying job. A lot of students want to go into nursing, and these schools have limited slots available, right? So in this video, I'm going to focus on Miami-Dade College, Broward College, and FIU, just because these are the local public universities you can go to and not go into a crazy amount of debt. However, there are other schools available here in South Florida. I'm not going to go into them because if you want to, you can Google, but the same process applies. If you understand this process, you can apply this process to that process, right? So what's going to happen is this. You graduate high school, you have your AA degree. With your degree now, you're done. You've met your requirements. The problem is you now want to apply to nursing school. And most likely, you were not able to complete your nursing school prerequisite courses during your AA degree. So what happens is this, you now have to come and you have to complete those courses. You're going to do this as a non-degree seeking student. Let me explain to you how that works. So your first choice is, do you want to get your associate's degree in nursing or do you want to get your bachelor's degree in nursing? Now, I'll be honest, if you're graduating high school, your AA degree, you're probably in your late teens, early 20s, you should definitely go for your bachelor's because it just makes sense. If you're an older student who's going to come back to school, you have kids, responsibility, I would say get your AS degree just because the reality is with both degrees, you could start working right away. It doesn't really matter. Now, yes, if you get that AS degree, you will have to convert it to a BSN because most hospitals want that. But sometimes the hospital will even pay for you to do that. So again, let's just go ahead and get started. So in Florida, right, or at least in South Florida, the majority of nursing schools, these are the courses they require. So right now I'm showing you FIU. So I'm showing FIU because FIU is a local university. And if you go to FIU, you will earn your Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, your BSN degree. Now, let's be honest, guys. Nursing, all schools is super competitive. So is FIU. So you want to make sure these classes right here are A's, right? I get it. You got to think of B's where the case is, but the reality is you want to have all A's here. So I'll give you an example. You have to take anatomy and physiology 1 and 2. You gotta take statistics, you gotta take microbiology, you gotta take chemistry, right? Nutrition, human growth, and psychology. Now, I recommend, because here's what happened to you. You can't apply to FIU because you already have an AA degree. So you're a transfer student. So these missing nursing classes that you're gonna take right here, you're gonna take these classes at a local community college. Now, if you're in Miami, Miami-Dade College works pretty well. If you're in Broward, Broward College works pretty well. And notice they even tell you what the exact class course codes are. So when you're taking the course, you'll be confident that you're taking the correct courses. So if you go to Miami-Dade College, you got to take these classes right here. Now, remember, as a non-degree seeking student, you got to pay for these classes out of pocket. They're not going to count for you with financial aid or Bright Future. So you got to make sure you knock that out. So once you have these classes done, you then have to complete the TEAS exam. So right here, notice it's giving you all the requirements, the TEAS exam right here. So when you apply to nursing school, they're going to look at your cumulative GPA from Miami-Dade College for your AA degree. Then they're going to look at your science GPA in those nursing prerequisite courses, and they're going to look at your TEAS exam score. That kind of creates a profile for you. And notice 3.25 GPA for all coursework, right? Including dual enrollment and transfer courses. So hopefully you have good grades. Um, and look here, right? 2 science prereq failures disqualifies your application. So again, these are super, super competitive, right? Now, here's what I recommend sometimes. Apply to FIU, make that your priority because you're young, get your BSN, why not? However, as a backup, you've already taken the courses already. Miami-Dade College has a nursing program as well, right? You could do it. Now, I'll be honest, their program is also super hard to get into. Again, a lot of students, limited spots, super competitive. But the reality is, you will already have taken most of the courses. So, for example, these are the courses you need to apply to a Miami-Dade College nursing program: anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, right, with the lab, microbiology, and chemistry. Now, notice FIU required a few extra courses that they don't require here for this program. The reason being is FIU is asking you for psychology, human growth, and nutrition because this is a bachelor's degree program. Miami-Dade College is only asking you to complete the science classes. This is an associate's degree program. However, once you go to Miami-Dade College and you start a nursing program and you complete these nursing classes and you get your associate degree in nursing, you take your NCLEX, you become a nurse. Once you apply to their online RN to BSN program, if you want to do it at Miami-Dade College or FIU, you have to take those nutrition class, psychology class. So eventually, you got to take those classes anyway. So might as well knock them out now rather than having to come back to it later, right? So I'd apply to Miami-Dade College just because it's a good option. They have 2 programs, one at the Homestead campus, one at medical campus. And honestly, guys, like I've talked to multiple students, getting your foot into the door at a hospital, yes, the BSN does help in some way. But if you come from an associate degree program, you have your NCLEX, you can still get a job. I mean, will that make much of a difference? Maybe, I don't know. But if you applied to FIU and didn't get in, but you got into Miami-Dade College, it's still a good option. Like I wouldn't focus on the BSN versus ASN because again, you can always come back, and I'll show you here, right? Here's the FIU nursing website. Notice FIU has a couple of different options. So if you were not a dual enrollment student and you were starting out with 0 college credits, you would be this, right? FTIC pre-nursing pathway. But this is not you. You are a traditional BSN because you are considered a transfer student from Miami-Dade College because you have 60 college credits. Now, let's say, for example, if I wanted to go get a nursing degree, I could apply to this option, accelerated option. Why? Because I already have a bachelor's degree in something else, and now I'm applying to get a bachelor's degree in nursing, right? This is an intense 1-year program. For you to enrollment, this wouldn't apply because you have an AA degree, not a bachelor's degree. But notice here, online RN to BSN. If you go to Miami-Dade College or Broward College and you earn your AS degree, become an RN, work in a hospital, you can then apply to FIU and online, while you're working full-time job, you can complete this online RN to BSN program. It's fully online. And here's the good news, guys. In some cases, I think a lot of cases, the hospital that you're working at will have tuition reimbursement where they will pay for this part of your degree. So in theory, you could go to Miami-Dade College, knock out your AS degree, probably for less than $10,000, right? Because it's not that expensive. And then apply to this RN to BSN once you have a job and you're working full time, and then have the hospital pay for that degree. But again, if you can get into FIU from the very beginning, that's probably your best option. But you also have plan B, plan C, right? This last option doesn't apply to you guys. This is for people who are foreign. So for if you were a doctor in Cuba, Venezuela, whatever case is, you can become your degree that way. But again, that's not what we're looking right here, right? And then I show Broward College here at the very end. Broward College also has a similar program. They have their nursing degree, their nursing AS degree. And for Broward College, all you have to need to apply is anatomy 1 and 2 and chemistry. take your TEAS exam, apply, and then complete microbiology. So again, if you were to complete those classes at Miami-Dade College or Broward College, it doesn't matter, right? Because you're still taking a TEAS exam. So the requirements are almost the same. The question you have to ask yourself is like, do you want to stay here in South Florida? Do you want to go to nurse school? The good news is, guys, if you complete the courses that FIU is asking for, which is what Miami-Dade and Broward College are similarly asking for, those same classes pretty much apply to all schools in Florida because Florida's trying to standardize education. Maybe like you might have like one or two differences, but overall, you'd have a good idea. So I would say first step is figure out, do you want to stay in South Florida? Second step, do you want to do the bachelor's degree in nursing or the associate degree in nursing? Right? I recommend the bachelor's just because you're young and you have time. Why not do it now? What schools you want to apply to? Then you got to figure out your class schedule. So, for example, if you graduate now in May of this year, this summer has a summer B semester. You could definitely take Anatomy and Physiology 1 in the summer. Now, you could take more classes. I get it if you want to be an overachiever. But, guys, I'll be honest. I would recommend you take one, especially in a 6-week course. It's a lot of information. And it's not just passing the course with an A, it's learning the content because when you take these entrance exams, you have to know anatomy and physiology. Nursing is not a major you can just like cheat your way through with ChatGPT, get an A, and move on and hope you never see this again. I mean, I'm sure you could cheat, right? I'm sure people do it all the time, but you want to know this. Like people's lives are in your hands, so you want to know your content. So I would recommend summer B, take either chemistry or anatomy physiology 1. Then the fall semester, take anatomy physiology 2, and then take your chemistry if you haven't taken it yet. And then the spring semester, take your microbiology and whatever classes you're missing. And then based on when the application windows open, you can know where you're going to be at. So for example, right? Let's look here at Miami-Dade College, right? I'm just looking at this. So Miami-Dade College, they have their programs. So let's say you wanted to apply to the nursing RN generic full-time. This is like what you would apply to. And we look at the program here. Oh, this is one that we already opened. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go back. Where did I see this? Okay, here we go. Program requirements. Now notice, if you graduate this year in May, you probably will be applying for next year fall nursing program, right? Which means that you would be for the fall selection window, you'd be applying between February 10th and April 10th, which means that you have summer and fall to knock out your classes. And then even in spring, take the remaining courses and you'll still be able to make at least by round 2, right? Into that window. Now, there's other courses you got to take, so make sure you plan accordingly. Maybe in summer you double up if you kind of have to. But again, you have to plan almost backwards, right? Like, I want to apply by this day. Here's the application deadline. So I have to have all my classes done by this day. And here's the time I have. So, you're planning everything out. Again, if you need help with this, reach out. We'll sit down. We'll map everything out for you. But this is how you got to be thinking about the application windows. Same thing for FIU, for Broward College. So I know it's a lot of information. Feel free to comment, reach out. If you need help, this is what we're here for. Remember, Advising the Way is a nonprofit, so we don't charge for any services. We simply do it because we wish these services existed for all students. And also, remember, guys, I should be your last resort here. You should be contacting your school advisors at the school you want to go to. Talk to advisors. They have workshops. They help people all the time. So that's their job. They get paid for that. So use them, right? Tap into their expertise. However, if they're not helping you or you can't find help, I'm here. We're here. We can help. And I hope this is useful to you guys. And let me know if you need anything else. Have a good day, guys.